Hi, everybody. This is group Mystiques, and we are going to discuss some of the topics and what we learned through the time in this course. With me is Adam and David, and we're gonna start. A, it was a couple of weeks where there's a lot of information and we start talking about sound and branding, which I think it was one of the most interesting topics. I never worked with sound before, so this was new and informative for me. And one of the notes that I got is the main type of sounds that we usually work with: the human voice, the sound effects, and music. And you never think about this as a part of as a design coherent elements for a brand in sound. And when you start learning about things like the logo design and all these different brands that use sounds to identify themselves, I think it's a very complex topic. What do you guys think?
Definitely agree. I had never really paid attention to, I guess, what we consider sonic branding until this class, and now I'm everywhere I look, I'm thinking about it. It's very interesting. I never realized how much we hear a sound and associate something with that sound. I was just always on the visual cue.
In doing the research, I was reading about the sound branding of Netflix, that ta-dum. And no matter where you are, if you sound that, you hear that, you turn around and you know exactly, some movie, something is about to come around. And reflecting on that, going back, you will see everything that the major brands has some sort of identified sound, like McDonald's, tan 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 tan. That's very identifiable. Another important concept that they caught my attention was dietic and non-dietic sounds, referring to sounds that are inherent into the environment of the narration. So I wrote here the diegetic sound exists within the story of the world. So any sound that is in the plot, what is going on, is diegetic. Non-diegetic is whatever the spectator is listening. So maybe a soundtrack or something that the character is not aware is non-diegetic. That was another concept that was new for me as well.
Yeah, for sure. I never realized that was like a different type of audio versus, what everybody in the scene hears versus what the viewer, like what we hear, like they talk about like Jaws and like the of whenever the shark's around, and same with like was it the Friday the 13th, like nobody would hear that but us. So that's really cool to have that label. I didn't know it was a thing.
And yeah, that's for the spectators, and there's some sounds for them for the in the plot that that we never think about, two different environments that emerge for the same benefit. Um, another concept that I was very intrigued was about the literal or conceptual abstract of the sounds. and what they defined as a abstract will be more symbolic, emotional of the narrative driven. Those sounds that make our emotions go. I think a big example of that, if you're not like scary movies, if you lower the volume, you will see how that movie have a very low impact on you because all those sounds are meant to create that emotion. Those abstract sounds are the ones to create that tension on the specific scenes. When the sound is missing, you just don't get the same feeling. That was something that also caught my attention.
Yeah, when I first went to school and I did my first like digital class, we did a like a sound one where like he played. I don't know if you ever heard the movie Twister,
Yeah,
and he did like the very first scene where like the tornado hits, and he did it like muted versus with the sound, and the impact is so dramatically different without the sound. Like you don't realize how much sound brings to it until you just take it away. And then, it was like flashing lights and shit flying all over the screen, but like without the sound, it was incredibly unimpactful. So yeah, definitely.
that's a great example. Yeah, the commotion I can imagine that with that sound, like definitely that's not the same impact. In week two, I think one of the biggest concept was the Marshall McLuhan, the medium is the message concept, and this is important because to me nowadays there's so many medium where you can send a message that how you send it is the way that the message is going to make an impact. So the message probably has been the same for many years, but now how you send it, how you if it's if you send a handwritten letter will be definitely different than send an email. It's the same message, but the impact will be like, okay, I have a physical letter in my hand. What does that mean? Why you wrote it by hand instead of just send an email? So the meaning changed dramatically. Um, Getting this the media needs a message, a whole different meaning, I guess.
Well, yeah, with all the different things vying for our attention now in our daily lives, we have such a short attention span that you have the ability to grab somebody's attention. So if you're not using the right medium to grab their attention, then yeah, you're definitely missing the message. Yeah.
Correct. And by week three, we start working on the motion, and this I love this part. I'm not very experienced, but definitely working on the motion graphics was quite an experience because definitely give a different feeling as a designer. The way you can um, give meaning to an animation to a non-living thing can give power to your message. So I give a lot of credit to animations, people who work in like Pixar and stuff like that that can create such of an amazing animations that really can uh, rise your emotions and create characters that really you can relate to.
Yeah, animation is definitely really cool. I definitely discovered I suck. I'm not a fan. I'm way better at static. I don't do animation well. I spent so much time just trying to make what I wanted that I ran short on time and just had to throw the shit together. But yeah, mad respect for people that can animate well. 'Cause it's certainly ain't me.
Yeah. And for the last week, we started working on editing, and that I think is a process of you have to be organized. You have to have a plan, definitely to start getting a visual, have something in, you really have to know where you're going and how you're gonna do it before start jumping on the computer, start putting things together before, because otherwise it's just a mess. Um, you're mute. Any big challenges that you guys face during the month?
Uh, I'll let Adam go.
I think probably the biggest challenge for my regular job, I do like motion graphic stuff and I do like social media reels and whatnot. And so I thought, oh yeah, motion graphics, psh, I got that in the bag. And it was definitely it's a different type of motion graphics for this project because this project, like the video that they were needing for this was like you're doing like a campaign for like almost like TV. It felt like it didn't feel like it was actually like social media because like social media, it's like you throw up some like cool looking captions or something like that, and you like film somebody talking, and that usually is the thing that grabs people's attention. Um, but this just felt like it was more like TV, which is fine, but matching the motion graphic with like some of the like the sounds for whatever, like if you want a motion graphic to like whoosh in, just kind of zoom in. It we I don't think about from that standpoint of, oh, I could get like a whoosh to kind of have it zoom in, and then you have to like time it perfectly and everything. Yeah, that was probably the biggest challenge next to I mean, I'm a firm believer in writing the script before you try to collect anything. So that was, we wrote the script like the second to last week or whatever. Then yeah, so third week, last week. And then this week we kind of like, I guess, perfected it. And in my opinion, you write that before you do anything else. So that was a little bit more of a challenge because I didn't know we were going to write a script. So I'm just like collecting all these like random things for the event and stuff. So, anyways, but yeah, the biggest challenge for me was just matching the sound with those motion graphics, and there's a lot of room for improvement.
How about you, David?
I mean, my biggest hurdle is I'm too much of I spend too much time crafting the pieces and then I run short of putting them together because I have this grand vision in my head that doesn't match my abilities when it comes to animating. So like this whole last project, I'm still not done. I'm still trying to figure it out. Like it's just I had no problem with the sound stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. It was interesting to get the feedback on like, well, this doesn't match what you're trying to say because I didn't think about that. But yeah, like he was saying, man, like editing it all together and getting your timing right, man, that's mad respect for editors.
Yeah. And for me, I think the whole journey from sound to editing, I mean, from graphics, it seems like we did a lot in you know, short amount of time, but it was to try to keep organized and keep the pace and not fall behind. Like I say, we're working on sound, and then we got on in the video and the graphics are like, okay, we need to finish with the sound, start working on this, figure it out what you don't know, and be practical, because you like I think this is one thing we designers have, that we focus on something and we have wanted to have that right the first time, and we need to be more let it go, and progress, not perfection, kind of thing.
I feel like we could have done a whole class on just sound, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I feel like all of it, like sound and video, are like squished together too much. Like I feel like we're not getting enough. Like I did a graphic design bachelor from Full Sail, like 23. I graduated, and we only did one class on video, and I don't even know if we did a video like a class on like audio, and then in this master's, like just squishing them together. It's pretty wild.
Wow. Well, guys, I think this is it. We compile all the main ideas. I thank you for joining me, and we're gonna take care of this, and really appreciate your time.
Yeah,
All right.
guys, appreciate it. Good meeting.
Okay, awesome.
Good meeting you. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
You'll have a good one. See you
Bye-bye.
next month.
Yep.